Hi guys, welcome to another beer review, and I think today is going to be the first beer that I've reviewed from Spain, and it could actually be one of the first beers that I've actually drank from Spain. That could be completely wrong. I've probably had some macro lagers from Spain a few years ago and that sort of thing. But yeah, my first Spanish craft beer, that's for sure. Now, I looked it up after I bought it because it sounded like an intriguing beer. I mean, the bottle itself is intriguing, and apparently it says it's brewed by premium beers from Spain, and their website is la Socarrada.com. Now I don't know if that's actually like the name of the beer or the name of the brewery, but this is the Socarrada Cervesa Artesanal Premium, which I'm guessing is premium beers from Spain. So yeah, this is, apologies about my absolute butchering of this beer so far, but yeah, this is described as a high fermentation beer, a winter honey ale style, made of barley malt, rosemary and rosemary honey hops and yeast. Put your teeth in, Peter. And yeah, I believe what it says on the import label, which again is very intrusive for sad bastards like me who like to collect the labels. Apparently the malts are pale malt and the hops are Challenger. So yeah, it's a honey beer using rosemary, and got some rosemary here so I can compare it in terms of the aroma and stuff like that, because I'm a professional, of course. So yeah, it's been a mighty warm day. It's been a mighty warm time in Germany so far, actually. So I think it's fitting that I'm drinking a beer from Spain. And this is actually going to be the last review that I'm recording for probably a week or so, because next week starts the Craft Beer Festival Regensburg, which the festival beer this year is a really traditional Doppelbock, I think. So hopefully I can get hold of a couple of bottles, one to review now and then one to cellar for a bit. And the festival beer glass has been announced, so hopefully I can get my hands on one of those as well. And yeah, of course, festival is from Birretta. The guys who run Birretta, it's their third year, very exciting stuff. And I bought this beer from Birretta, so Birretta, links down below. So anyway, I've waffled on for way too long. I really like the style of bottles. 330ml, 6%. And yeah, just look at that very narrow neck. It's got sort of like a wine bottle look to it, and there's actually an indent in the bottom of the glass. And I don't know if you can tell, but that bottle cap is one of those bigger ones. So hopefully I can get it off without shaking up the beer too much, because there is sediment in the bottom, but you can't, well, yeah, you can see the sediment floating around in the bottle itself, so hopefully I don't disturb it too much and it gushes everywhere. So yeah, so I'm going to open it with the bottle on the counter so it doesn't spray everywhere, and hopefully I can get this off. Just a plain gold cap, came off perfectly. Very anticlimactic, like all of my reviews. But yeah, look at that, fantastic stuff. It's just got this real sense of tradition to it. Anyway, don't know if you can see that, but it's alive. Let's pour it into the glass and see if we can actually get a beer in there without masses of head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a little bit in now. Very carbonated, very active, you can hear that. And then I'll stir the remaining portion of it and see how the beer changes. But straight away, I'm definitely getting a really big hit of honey. Got a real sort of like musky aroma to it as well. let me just give the sniff of the rosemary, see if I can pick it up in the beer. Very slightly. It's not in your face, it's not overwhelming, and it's not a really pungent aroma of rosemary. Because rosemary, I find, and sniffing it again has just cemented that. It's sort of like, to me, a mix between like a peppermint and I can't remember what it is, but it's like got a really nice earthy tone to it. And you get that in this beer, but it's lifted by that honey. And I'm getting like a slightly Belgian spicy yeast aroma in there as well. Not too savoury, not too sweet. Nothing offensive on the nose at all, and nothing completely out there where it kind of puts you off. And because I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit scared to drink this beer, even though, yeah, I was obviously drawn to it because of the weird and wonderful ingredients in there. But yeah, on the aroma, very nice, mild, slightly spicy, earthy, herbaceous, sweet flavour. And you are getting that lovely honey aroma coming through. So in terms of the colour, that is, yeah, it's a hazy one. And not too many particulates in there, but the carbonation is very nice. Lovely sort of a blood orange honey sort of look to it. Lovely amberish tones in there, slight copper tones as well, lovely amount of haze. And yeah, beer poured with, well, it's just got a lining of a, well, let's see what the head looks like when we pour more in. So, smells good, looks good, let's give it a taste. Cheers. Ooh. Now that is a unique tasting beer, has to be said. The first thing I get on that first sip is that honey comes through really, really nicely. But then that dies out quite quickly, actually. And then you do get that sort of like slightly dry, herbaceous character from the rosemary coming in. But it's not like really stark or, you know, aggressive or anything like that. Even though that honey character dissipates quite quickly, that like herbaceous bitterness sort of slowly comes in. It's not like fizzles out and then bam or anything like that. It's got a lovely smooth mouthfeel when it goes in. Almost has like that taste or feel of like a fruit juice that's still got a bit of the pulp in the bottle, but then that carbonation comes through really nicely again. And that's the beauty of this beer. There's really nothing aggressive, but there's a lot going on with it. Prickly as well. Definitely get that yeasty flavour in there. Slightly reminds you of a Belgian like strong blonde ale or something like that in that regard. And then yeah, that rosemary comes through actually quite a lot right on the back end after you've swallowed, and then you get that rosemary coming through. Yeah, that's a very, very unique beer indeed. So we'll swirl this up and see how the beer changes in the glass then. There we go. Just plunk it in. A little bit aggressive. Oh, excuse me. Like I said, nicely carbonated. Yeah, not too much left in the bottom of the bottle, but beer in a glass. And yeah, that's gone sort of more of like a rye doppelbock character now. And yeah, there are little bits and bobs in the glass, and then you've got a lovely cloud of sediment in the middle as well. But yeah, it's become a little bit more opaque actually, and that head is about one finger's worth of a slightly off-white head. But yeah, it's like got this like marmalade-y, rye look to it. The rosary's coming a bit more in the aroma now, mixing with this like nice yeasty tone. So it has changed a little bit, and I'm getting like more of like a slightly citrusy flavour coming in. Not like lemon or lime, but more along the orange family maybe. But yeah, that honey again, really nice. It just rounds it all off on the aroma. Let's give it one last taste. Yeah, that body's got a little bit more volume to it, but not too much. It's a weird mishmash of different styles for me, because when I drank it then, almost got a slight Doppelbock character to it, with that malt, more like along the lines of maybe a Heller's Doppelbock, maybe. But yeah, 6%, you're not getting that at all. Alcohol's really masked nicely, but you'd expect that from 6%. Yeah, I don't know, it's not one that I'd drink more of a bottle of at a time. Definitely not a sessionable beer, because I think that your palate will get dried out a little bit too much from all of that rosemary that culminates. But I think this is one of those beers that I would class as like a cuisine beer. It's more of a beer to complement a meal, but you can drink it on its own. It doesn't really have that refreshment factor that some beers have. So like I said, if you're sat in Spain in like a beer garden on the beach or that sort of thing, I would probably opt for something else in that situation. But if you've got yourself like a nice seafood platter, or maybe something along the lines of like a paella, something with a little bit of spice to it, a little bit of kick, I think this is going to work well with it. And we're about to have some asparagus with some schnitzel, and this beer will be gone before that's finished. But I think, yeah, that's going to complement that really nicely. Those herbal tones, that honey sweetness, the body, the malts, that yeast, the slightly dry tart factors to it. But it's just amazing how you've got all these weird and wonderful flavours working together for something that is complex but mellow at the same time, if that makes sense. And yeah, very intrigued to try more beers from these guys. So yeah, it's not for everyone. It's definitely an acquired taste, I'd say, and I can't think of too many beers that have been brewed with rosemary. There could be loads. There could be loads of like traditional, ancient brews that have used rosemary, instead of hops or something like that. But yeah, I was slightly scared, but it's a very pleasant, satisfying little brew that, under the right circumstances, this is going to go down an absolute treat. Like I said, go with a nice meal or something along those lines. So, finally on to my rating. Every review that I've done recently has been really, really long, but I just can't be arsed editing, so you've got to put up with it. What would I give this beer? I'd give this a very solid 8 out of 10. There were just some characteristics to it that align with the Belgian style beers that I'm not a fan of, and that's factoring into my enjoyment factor of it. Not really a sessionable one. It's not really, I mean, it wasn't exactly expensive to buy, but it's a really good, unique. Give it a try. I'd try it again if I was doing a tasting session, or if I had a specific meal that I wanted to pair this with, just to have a little bit of experimentation. And yeah, it's definitely something different. So if you want a unique experience and you want to get into Spanish craft beer, then definitely give these guys a go, especially this one. So if you have tried it, as always, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. What other beers by this brewery should I check out? Give me some Spanish craft brewers that you really enjoy that I should look out for as well. Check out the website down below. If any of my friends have reviewed this one, their reviews are going to be included in the description box. And yeah, I don't know what playlist to put with this video. Maybe the Birretta beers that I've bought from Birretta playlist. And of course, check out Birretta. So, 15 minutes. If you've made it this far, don't know how you've done it. And yeah, hopefully I haven't put you off, and you'll join me next time for another beer review. So anyway, Thank you guys, and I shall hopefully see you all later. Cheers.